always, that's one thing about my personality. I'm always seeking for knowledge. Um, I don't like to be wrong, but being wrong gives you the right answer. I'll make the mistakes. I'll just learn from them and just keep it moving. I'm young. I don't know anything. So, what I've acquired, I've learned through the years and research, and I've just put the work in. But I'm always open to knowledge because I don't know everything. I'm not God. So.
I want to start off by asking you who you are, what you do, and why are we interviewing in this particular space?
My name is Rasheem P. I am the head designer of Dionicio's Closet. I'm from New York. I moved here in 2006, and I've been here ever since. I've moved back a few times to New York, and I finally decided to settle here in 2018. So my main concentration of business is designing. I design suits for men. I used to do women. I quickly got out of that after some time. It was a little stressful, but I segued into designing shoes for women now. I do design for kids as well. And yeah, that's about it. So suiting is my main concentration of designing.
Okay, nice. I guess going back a little bit, you said you're from New York.
The Bronx, to be exact.
The Bronx. Okay, so what was that transition like? I guess from there to here, or how'd you end up in Huntsville, Alabama, essentially?
That's a long story. I'll try to make it short. My dad wanted to go to school for theology. He wanted to attend Oakwood University. Back then, Oakwood College, and so he moved first, and then my mom, my sister, and myself moved about a year after. We first came, and then I didn't quite like it. I went to Butler for a couple weeks. I didn't understand the teacher, and it was just a culture shock. Coming down here, I thought that everybody was gonna be cowboys. There'll be a lot of cowboys. Excuse
Like cowboys.
me. There'll be horses, farms. But the school was kind of like the school that I saw growing up on, like Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
So they had different cliques. They had the jocks, the different groups. In New York, it's not quite like that. But it was a culture shock. I didn't like it. I complained to my mom, and then we moved back to New York, and we stayed in Brooklyn. And I stayed in Brooklyn for a year, and we came back in 2006, and we decided to stay, and stuck it out.
Oh wow, dang! You say you didn't understand the teacher. What were you talking? What do you mean by that?
The accent. They had thick accents, and I'm fresh out of NY, so I'm like, and the pace that they were moving, I was just like, I just didn't feel comfortable. And I told my mom, I was like, "Ma, I don't like this place. I don't understand the teacher." It was just too different, and my mom didn't like it either, so I kind of played off of that.
Okay,
and,
you're like,
so we both teamed up. And we got out of there, and then we settled in Brooklyn. I was living with my cousins, which was like the best year of my life.
Oh yeah.
We had so much fun. Anywho, yeah, we decided to come back, and I've been here ever since, on and off.
And was there a different feeling coming back, or was it just like, I'm gonna make do?
The final time, because I moved back several times, but the final time in 2018, I particularly felt as though God wanted me here to start my business and to elevate it. So I just stuck it out. And the last time I went to New York, and I was thinking about actually moving back, I just didn't get the same feeling. Everybody there was kind of going through the motion. Everybody felt like zombies. Just going to work, doing this. It didn't feel like people that I knew had a purpose, and the people that I used to hang around, it wasn't really doing that with their lives.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a blessing in disguise to get me out of that environment, because I possibly would have been a product of my environment. So the dichotomy between New York and Alabama is so far off that I got the best of both worlds. I took the best from, you know, both places. I got my foundation from there, but then I became a man here. I grew up faster. When I first got here, people were driving at 16. I never thought about driving at 16. That's
Really?
just a train and a bus,
Oh,
you
wow.
know? So little things like that, little object lessons. And yeah, I grew up here, so I believe it catapults me into manhood. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Wow.
I'll give Huntsville its credit.
Okay, Huntsville.
It hurts. It hurts a little bit, but it is what it is. You know.
It's all good. It's all good. We'll take it. We'll take it. And how old were you when you moved back here for the last time?
The last time that I moved back.
Well, I guess.
Well, the time that I considered actually fully leaving was 2018. And then that's when I actually decided I'm actually going to stay.
Okay.
And then after time, I got my studio, and then, you know, I started seeing, I was like, okay, I see why God wants me here. He wants to elevate my business. I need a foundation. I need a base. And then, yeah, now we're here.
And you said, like, after you got here, you realized that God wanted you here. But
Yeah.
You described those feelings of being like, I'm moving back here. I feel like I need to be here, but the initial feelings aren't fully there.
Pretty much, yeah. He showed me over time why he wanted me here. Mainly for my business and for my character building. When you're in the city, I tend to move differently, and people tend to move differently. They have a different mentality.
Can you describe that a little bit?
You have a hustle and bustle mentality, especially if you coming from New York. Those that are from a big city knows I gotta rush, I gotta go, I always gotta do something. Here, I actually get to relax, think. You know, I don't have to worry about somebody robbing me. I don't have to fully. Of course, you always watch your back, but you don't always have to be on alert. Yeah. So you get to explore different sides of your personality, your character, when things are calm. Huntsville is kind of like a place where you meditate, take a break from life. I guess.
Wow, nice. Yeah, especially in comparison to New York, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's a big difference. It's a huge difference. I actually want to move to the country. Believe it or not. Never thought I would say that, but I see the wisdom behind it.
Yeah.
Versus a city, you're dependent on that system of living. But when you're in the country, you kind of have more control of how to live. Yeah. Especially with your food and, you know, your location, and just a peace of mind. You get a better quality of life. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
And had you thought of like starting a business in New York before coming to Huntsville? Or
no. No, not at all. I was just going through the motions, honestly. Yeah. I don't have like a beautiful violin telltale story.
Okay.
I was just going through the motions, just living, having fun, you know, traveling and just kicking it. But when I got here is when I decided to start a business, because I didn't know what to do. I came to a point in my life where I didn't really know what to do in my life. School was cool, but it wasn't something I pictured for myself. I really didn't know, honestly. Yeah. I'm being transparent. And a lot of people, you know, they get their degree, but they just doing it just to say, hey, I got this. But it was one day, I lost my job at T-Mobile. I got fired from there, which was my fault.
What happened?
So I basically, not to get into too much details, I had a verbal altercation with a customer. Okay. And at that time I was in sales. When it comes to sales, high-paced sales, you need to, in order to perform at the top, or if you want to boost, sometimes you got to take some caffeine. Okay. And so I took a lot of caffeine that day. Oh, no. And
It was overflowing.
Yeah, it was seeping through, and then it was
Please.
time to close, and somebody came in.
Mm.
She was authorizing me as if I had to do something for her without her paying.
Okay.
And so we got back. It was back and forth altercation. Told her to get out. She complained, and yeah, one of the managers that used to be there, he pushed it up. It could have been settled in the store,
Yeah.
but he because of he wanted to do his job,
Yeah,
which
oh.
I can't hate. He was just doing his job,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
appreciate that happening. But it's crazy how life works.
Yeah.
He did his job. He pushed it up. Lost my job. During that time frame, I was a little depressed. I didn't know what to do. I knew my worth at that time. Not to say that people who work at certain jobs are lesser than, but I know my talents. I know what I can do. And I know what I can bring to the table. I'm confident in that. I wasn't going to work at McDonald's. I wasn't going to, like I said, not to say anything is wrong with that. You got to be careful nowadays.
I understand.
Otherwise you get canceled.
Okay.
But yeah, I knew I didn't want to do that, but I was still in what's the word I'm looking for? I was still in a circle of depression and stress, and I just didn't know what to do. So one day I prayed and I asked God. I said, I don't know what to do. What can I do? I need a sense of direction. And he told me verbally. He asked me, "What do you like to do?" I said, "I like to dress. And I like to cut hair." And he said, "All right, so do that." So I went. I asked around. I asked people like, "Hey, can you teach me how to sew? How do I start a business?" Because I don't know how to start a business. I didn't, at the time, my dad didn't have his own business. So I didn't have a pattern to follow.
Yeah.
But, and I'll get back to that shortly. But I just went. People were denying me left and right, throwing me under the bus, not helping. And they had a business. So, because they saw, I guess, competition, they didn't want to help. Because I was known for somewhat of my fashion sense prior to starting my business.
Okay, so they're intimidated.
That's how I built trust between my audience and myself, because they saw what I did without having a business. Long story short, I met someone. She taught me how to sew. I started sewing my own pieces. I did about 3 or 4 pieces. I had $20 to my name. I bought pattern. I did everything that you needed to do to sew and everything of that nature. And I just continued doing that. God blessed me with a job at this place called Ability Plus. I worked nights 3 days a week during the weekend. And then I started working at Allstate. Is it Allstate or State Farm? I think it's State Farm. Yes, okay. It's the red and white logo. Yeah, I started working at State Farm, and I was selling insurance, really making calls. And yeah, God put me back on my feet. I was able to finance my business, and then I just started going from there. Just started working, building up my audience, and then I launched my brand.
Wow. Okay. How was I guess, knowing that you had this goal ahead of making your business and still working nights through, we said 3 days a week?
Yeah,
how was it
so I would work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Friday through Sunday, 11 to 7.
Okay.
So what I did was I blocked myself off from traveling, from kicking it, having fun, so that I could focus. At nights, I would design, order samples, and do things of that nature according to the business, pertaining to the business, excuse me. And I'll work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll sew during the week, and I'll repeat the cycle. And that's what I kept doing until I got a call from T-Mobile saying, because I was one of the top sales person, number 2, I'll probably say that.
Yeah.
And it was like, "Hey, would you like to come back?" I didn't like State Farm because I was in a cubicle
Oh,
and I need
okay.
to move.
Got
I
you.
need to be doing something. I need to interact with people. I don't have ADHD, but it's just my personality.
I get you.
And so I was like, I'll come back if I'll have Saturdays off, and if I could do this because I'm a 7-day Adventist, so I can't work on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And first they allowed me to be off, but I had to set boundaries because God blessed me in these aspects. I felt as though I not necessarily owed him, but I had to do this for him because he had my back.
Yeah.
You know. And so they honored it, and I went back to T-Mobile. Still was doing my night job, and just kept on doing that cycle until I eventually let go of everything and did this.
And going back, like, where did that discipline kind of come from?
Discipline. Discipline is it's a strong word. You're the second person that told me that this week.
Really?
I don't feel as though I'm disciplined enough.
Really?
Yeah, but we could go with that. When it comes to discipline, how can I? When you don't, when things aren't given to you, you have to work for it. There's no other option but to be disciplined in order to get it, because there's not many avenues, legal avenues, to acquire the things that you want.
Yeah.
So whether you like it or not, you have to be disciplined in certain areas to acquire the things that you really truly want. Because I didn't know how to start a brand or a business, I had to take time and spend time educating myself. And with that education, my price went up. So I didn't I believe that this was fair because I wasn't educated in certain things. I would sell my suits for pennies on a dollar. So I wouldn't really make much, but I needed that experience in order to learn more about custom garments, suiting, business, how to handle customers. I took a lot of principles from T-Mobile and I applied it to my business as far as asking for referrals, doing exit interviews, things of that nature. So all in all, discipline is something, you have to have discipline, otherwise you won't survive.
Yeah.
It's kind of like going to the gym. If you don't go to the gym, you have cause and effect. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't like the effects. You know, a lot of people do like the effects, but it's because you were disciplined in going, you know, you get the results and you reap the benefits. So when it comes to discipline, if it's something that I really want, I know how to, you know, zone in and to focus on it. I wasn't brought up in a super rich household, middle class. So I couldn't get the Jordans every week. I couldn't get the new jersey. So I had to devise a plan. Okay, how can I acquire this? I know I need money. I don't have money. There's a gap in between. What are my options? Either get a job, steal, you know, there's not many options.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's just like, I don't want to go to jail. So you gotta,
Wait a
so
while.
either or, you have to have discipline if you want to do it the right way. So I believe I get that from my parents, particularly my dad. He's disciplined when it comes to a lot of aspects of his life. And so I believe that was a learned behavior that I observed unconsciously growing up. And it just, I didn't have many options. So I was just like, I got to work for what I want. Others, they could get it from their parents. I had to work for it. So I was able to appreciate the little things. Like my friends will buy AirPods, they'll lose them. And I'm like, you only 4 for 1. He's like, I'll buy another one. And mine is on my keychain because I'm like, I'm not about to spend this amount of money for this. I'm going to take care of my stuff. So that's how I view life. I value what I work for. And yeah,
Wow.
that was a lot. But
No, it was good.
Yeah,
It was
discipline
good.
is good.
Yeah. I guess you told me a little bit more about your family and your parents and your siblings or anything like that.
I have a younger sibling. We're 12 years apart. She's at UAB, Birmingham. My parents are still together, thank God. I was brought up in a two-parent home. I see the benefits of marriage. I see what I want in a marriage. I see what I don't want in a marriage. Um, See what I want to put up with. So as I've gotten older, I've observed a lot of things when it comes to marriage and things of that nature. So I'm grateful to have that supporting parents that helped me throughout my life. And yeah.
Nice. I guess your parents have a specific um, impact on who you are as a person. I guess have you ever had any like mentors, anybody else that's had that same level or similar
Yeah.
level?
Funny that you say that. So I was the only child for 12 years. So I always wanted siblings. So I was close to my cousins and things of that nature. But as I've gotten older, I would say that I have a big brother. His name is Marcus, and he has really helped me with my relationship with God. He was my barber. I'm the type of person that likes to get a haircut every week.
Yeah.
He's the one that taught me how to cut hair. He brought it out of me. So I used to go and talk to him every week. And he was kind of like my therapist in a way. So me and him would talk, and we'll have long, drawn out conversations. And he's the one that actually kind of helped guide me in the right path. So he's like my mentor. I call him. Well, we don't talk as often as we used to because we're working, but when we do talk, it's a quality conversation. We have those people in our lives where we could go, a while without talking to them.
Yes.
But when we do talk, it's like we never miss the beat. So that's how it is with him, and I understand. And so I would consider him like my mentor, and his mentor is like my second mentor, but on another level. So yeah, I have several mentors and people around me that's guiding me in the right way.
What would you say to people who are looking for a mentor of some sort?
Um, I honestly would pray about it and see, who is best, because you got, you know, people that with bad influence and good influence. So you just got to really pay attention to see, look at a person's life. That's what I would say. Look at a person's life and see how they're living and judge from there. That's the evidence of a person. Um, you can listen to what they say, but look at their life and go from there, and then see if they qualify to be a mentor. If you want to emulate their lifestyle, and go from there. I don't really have much to say on that, but I would just say look at a person's life and then judge accordingly.
No, you're good. Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah,
It tells a lot about the person.
life.
I guess going back to your business, I guess what was the main inspiration behind? Am I saying right, Dioncio?
Dionicio.
Dionicios.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, I'm fired.
No, you good.
Yeah, Dionisio's closet.
Dionicio, yes. So what's the question?
I guess what was the inspiration behind? I guess that name, or just doing menswear suits in general.
So two things. My mom is Panamanian. Uh, the story that she told me was she had a student or a kid in her class whose name was Dionicio. So she said, I'm going to name my son that. Years later, I'm born. She wants to name me that. My dad is nah. He's like, nah, I don't want that. Based off of what I can remember, he had a friend that was Muslim at the time, and my dad's Christian, but before he found Christianity, and I guess the influence came. So that's where my real name came from, Rasheem. So that's the story behind that. When it comes to suiting, I would go to church on a weekly basis with my dad, and my mom would dress me up for church. So as a youth, I was always dressed up. So that principle and that, I guess, ideology has always been instilled in me as a child. And what really what really set it off was when I would wear suits to a club and I would get a different reaction. So instead
What
of
was
wearing
that reaction?
sneakers,
I'm just imagining, right?
yeah, when you go to a club and you're young, I'm still young, but my early 20s, I
Yeah.
would say the women will look at you differently. So that became intoxicating to me. I was like, huh, this is a different effect. So I saw the cause and effect versus wearing sneakers and a hat and stuff of that nature. So my chances of talking to women and getting their numbers were higher versus wearing sneakers. Just not by much, but
Yeah.
it was still a difference, and I also felt better. I felt as though I was better than everybody in there. So not that I was, but
Yeah. It just.
when you're in that environment, you see somebody with a jersey and you got a suit on, they have to respect you. You see, so I'm looking
Yeah.
at them as peasants. I'm like,
Please.
you got on
Not
these new
peasants.
J's that came out this weekend. I got on a suit. You know,
That's true.
so that was it was just something I observed. Not to say wearing sneakers and stuff is bad.
Yeah, of
It was
course.
just at that time I saw the benefits, and any real man would tell you, go to a club one week with some sneakers, and then go on with dress casual with a suit on and see what happens. The evidence is there. I've experienced it. I could give you a testimony.
Oh yeah.
But that's when I was just like, yo, I need to do this more. And like I said, God also told me. He said I was good with it. I could put things together. The color schemes, it made sense. I'm not afraid of color. I'll wear a yellow suit. I'll wear a pink suit. And I will allow my confidence to wear it and not the actual dress to outshine my confidence. That's the big difference between me versus other people. There's a principle behind dressing that I hold very highly. If you're not confident with what you're wearing, you'll be able to see that. And I've seen a lot of people wear things that they're not used to, and they'll try to make it a part of their personality, but it's not them, and I can see right through it. So confidence is number one, and then secondarily is the actual outfit. But yeah, I hope that answered your question.
No, yes, it did. It did.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about that second sense. Where do you think that came from? I guess that confidence to outfit, I guess, internal ratio, if that makes sense.
I just knew I was just confident in my skills. I knew what I could pull off because I've seen it done before. Prior to even getting into this business, before I was able to afford the things that I wanted, I was able to analyze and see how you were supposed to wear it properly. For example, I will watch people like Jim Jones, Dipset, and I will see people in New York emulate that style. But in my head, I'm on the train and I'm just like, you're not rocking that right. Your jeans to Tim ratio is off. You know what I'm saying? Based on how I saw it.
Yeah.
Not to say, everybody has their own individual style, but I was able to emulate. I was like, nah, this is how you're supposed to rock this. So that training it was instilled in me from young. So I took that principle or that ideology and I applied it to everything. And it worked because I appealed to the masses. Because people recognize how you're supposed to wear something, or they just like how you put it together, And I was just confident with that. And I'll just go from there. So that's where the confidence came from, I believe. It's always been there.
Yeah.
I have faith in myself, and with people's approval, that increased my faith. So, and my confidence. So I was just like, okay, I got it. I know what I'm
Yeah.
doing. But I'm always learning, though. I'm always learning. I don't know anything. I'm still learning more about the business, and I'm learning every day. I'm learning new techniques. So that has humbled me a lot. So, yeah.
I guess one advice people always give is like make sure you're like not the smartest person in the room. I guess I know you say you keep on learning and stuff like that. How do you make sure that is your environment of not being the smartest person, still continuing learning, or do you just like remind yourself every day, like, I need to keep going, or how does that work for you?
I just remind myself every day. I don't know everything. There's a lot of aspects of the business that I am still learning. There's guys that's been doing this for years, and if I can acquire that knowledge, I will be grateful. I had a client yesterday. He came in and he was telling me how he had someone else make his suit, an older guy from Haiti. And I said, give me his number. Is it possible for me to, because there's a lot of things I want to ask him.
Yeah.
I'm still young. So it's just like, if I can acquire that knowledge, that will make me more valuable at my age now. So that's one thing about my personality. I'm always seeking for knowledge. I don't like to be wrong, but being wrong gives you the right answer. So, I'll make the mistakes. I'll just learn from them and just keep it moving. I'm young. I don't know anything. So, what I've acquired, I've learned through the years, and I've researched, and I've just put the work in. But I'm always open to knowledge, because I don't know everything. I'm not God. So we'll always be learning.
That's nice. And I guess your inspiration kind of shows through, I guess, your work. I know you were like, you started, what year you started?
16.
Dionicio?
16. Yeah, my inspiration changed throughout the time. In 16, I used to be a real big R&B 90s type of guy, 80s and 90s. Love R&B. Particularly Casey, JoJo, Jodeci, Drew Hill, Michael Jackson, Prince, James Brown, and other flamboyant artists. So that kind of inspired my fashion sense. I was able to do the dark. I was able to do the bright, the fitted look. Just different looks pertaining to that era of music, and that was my inspiration for a while. Until I had to, when God told me to start the business, I did it my way. And then we had another meeting. I revisited, and he was like, now I want you to take the talents that I gave you and give it back to me. And so I'm like, okay, how do I do that? So what I did was I patterned my business, and I'm still patterning my business after Christ, I guess. And so just like what God did, he'll meet people's needs as far as service, and he'll also tell them like, hey, go and sin no more or whatever. So what I do is I'll meet a client's needs by creating them a suit, something particularly for them, custom, and I give them a set of books, which are these, and these books deal with mental health. It deals with help for sickness, reversing diseases naturally. Just basically, it gives them an example of how when Christ was on earth, every subject of life that we go through, he has dealt with it, but people aren't able to pinpoint it. But these books give you a concentration of those problems. So I would say that these are problem solvers. So that's my way of giving back and patterning my business after the principles of God or whatnot. And after I meet your needs, everybody gets one of those, whether you read it or not. It's none of my concern. I'm just doing my job. Here you go. And then we'll just go from there. But that's how my business changed. And in relation to that, my dress is currently changing as well. I'm not as flamboyant as I used to be. I'll still pull out a little something every once in a while, but because my character is under construction and is changing, it's reflecting in my dress, and I'm starting to see that I'm not really into the flashy as I used to be.
Okay,
And plus that comes with maturation over time. But I'm just, you got to elevate. So
Of
I'm
course.
going into that, that segue of my life.
Yeah, we love to see it then.
So yes, yes.
I
Thank
guess.
you.
I know specifically the topic about just like men's health and mental health is like not something that's talked about enough. At least
Right.
I feel. I guess so. Is that something that's impacted you personally? That you felt the Lord was like, this is what you need to do to like make your business like accident like Christ in a way.
Yeah. I'm meeting people. I have to, in order to minister to people, you gotta mingle with them. Christ mingled with people that had addictions, problems. I mingle with people that have addictions, problems. I was cutting someone's hair and Saturday night, and he was telling me, I haven't seen him in like 6 months, but he was telling me that he was having some mental issues. He had some situation with a girl. We spoke about that, and he was talking about killing himself. And me and him, we talked it out. He's good now, but it's situations like that which reaffirms that I'm doing what God wants me to do, because who knows, he probably wouldn't have been here if me and him had never talked. Now, I didn't save his life or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm an ear for him to express himself and to seek advice, because I've done the things that he's done and more. And, I've overcome certain temptations. Now I could tell him like, yo, this is how I did it. I'm evidence that I got through it. You know what I'm saying? So, after talking to him, it just opened my eyes, and I was just like, that's interesting. Okay. So I just got to keep going, I guess, and just be more faithful and obedient. That's the key. So that's what I'm learning right now, and that's what I struggle with. So I would refer to my mentor, and he'll, so it's a trickling down effect. We all influence each other. You know what I'm saying? And I realize that, and we have to take account to who we influence. So that's why I'm thinking more before I actually do anything or say anything, because that could be a trickle effect to something else. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it.
Do you ever see yourself mentoring someone else? Like keeping the trickle effect going?
I ain't no pastor or anything like that. I don't
But
know.
still,
Yeah, I don't know.
got a lot of
Maybe.
good knowledge.
I don't know if I can help, I'll help. But yeah, if I can help, I'm open to it. I'll give you what I know. I don't know, or I can't guarantee that it will help, but I could share my experience, and hopefully it will it will help someone else. And just like with my business, I service people, and I tell people like, hey, the reason why I'm here is because God put me here. It's not me. So I'm introducing you to him. So I'm kind of like the wingman in a sense, or not even the wingman, the middleman, and yeah, that's my place, I think. Yeah, so I tell people like, yo, I'm here because of this. Here's the man. I'm gonna go about my way.
Yeah. Okay. Can you, I guess, describe the feelings that you felt, I guess, because what? I know I was reading online, I guess, slash your website. So on 2019, like getting recognized by like different like what? GQ, Esquire, Pop Sugar. How was that? NAACP too.
It was
Like,
cool. That was cool. That was a good opportunity.
yeah. This is 3 years after you started, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was that was a great opportunity. And I'm grateful for it. During that time, I was excited. I worked with a few stylists that because I can't take full credit for it, but I worked with a few stylists that put my suits on their artists, and yeah, it got recognized, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that was cool. It didn't really take much, because the way that my mind works, I'm like, yo, if you're gonna be on a red carpet, you need to be on 10. The level of you know, suiting was about a 6. And I'm just like, this is what GQ is picking up.
You're like, what?
I could do
Now
better.
you know, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, okay, like, all right, cool. But I'm still grateful for it.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
it was just an eye opener. Sometimes we overestimate certain things in life, and but it's always good to be on your P's and Q's. But yeah, it was definitely I was definitely grateful for it. It was cool. Yeah.
Can you describe, I guess, interacting in those spaces? I know, and you talked about, like, last time we talked about being, like, the fashion week and everything and doing that, and, like, what's it like, I guess, being there and kind of like, oh, coming from where you were to where you are now?
It's I didn't really have a chance to embrace it because so the way that my mind works is on to the next. Because you are in competition with yourself based off of the last thing that you did or your last accomplishments. So I'm always trying to beat what I've done prior. So it was cool. I'm not a fan of Fashion Week. It's not my thing. I didn't go to school for this. It's a hobby. It's something that I love, but it's not something that I'll take from the greats and I'll study the greats. However, it's not. It's a talent. So it's not really something that I had to go to school for. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm always expounding on information and learning and things of that nature, but I'm combining talent and hard work. Put it that way. A lot of people say hard work beat talent, and I believe that. But when you combine God, talent, and hard work, you almost untouchable. So that's what I feel as though I'm doing now. But I'm not a fan of Fashion Week. It's cool for networking, but it's just I'm not a fan of the ambiance. I've done a few fashion shows, and it didn't reap the benefits. Wasn't really the most I got out of it was nice pictures, and that's not what I'm in it for. It was cool, but as you elevate and mature, it's like I'm good on that. But it's cool though. It's good for someone starting out to get exposure. But I prefer not to do fashion shows. If I have to, I would if it makes sense. But so I'm not a fan of it.
I guess, what do you see as the next for you or your business?
Possibly expanding. I'm praying about it. Expanding the studio. Getting ready to wear garments. So I'll have 2 programs, custom and ready to wear. So you'll be able to come by, pick up something now, try it on, and go. And that would be more cost effective for a larger audience that want to support and that would like to dress up. So that's something that I'm working on right now. I am testing the waters. I'm going to do a little test run. So hopefully this fall I'll be able to launch that and just go from there and elevate.
Nice. This is like, and you've been the only person working for your business the entire time?
For the most part, yes. I have a team that I work with. That produced the suit. Like I said, I was sewing myself, but I quickly realized that I didn't like it. It wasn't something that I wanted to do for others. I'll do it for myself. Right now, I am starting to sew again, periodically when I have time. However, it's not something that I have a passion for, but it's something that I know I need to, learn and add value to myself as a person. So I'll be doing minor alterations soon, possibly this fall. But for the most part, it's been myself. I've had people assist me over time, like the Vision Room. They're a studio based out of New Jersey, and it's a photography, videography, content studio. So they've helped me before, and I've collaborated with them. I've gotten advice from one of my close friends, Arjuna Collection. He's the one that told me, hey, you need to just learn to do this yourself and stop depending on people. So he was kind of like the battery in my back for a time.
And when you collaborate with people, what's that dynamic like? I guess with your team, like your showing team, or even like you said there. What's it called?
The vision room.
The vision room, like in New Jersey. I guess what's that like when you?
So
collaborate?
we'll take pictures. We'll do promotions. And we'll collab with different celebrities and clients that they have. Being that if they need a suit, I'll be able to provide that. I collaborated with them before. I was able to put a suit on this rookie that is playing for Charlotte. I believe his name is Thor.
Wow.
So I was able to design something for him. So that was definitely a blessing amongst other things. And yeah, we just went from there.
Nice. I guess, can you describe your college life? What was that like and everything? I guess, what did you study and how was
I studied business accounting. I started with psychology. It's like, what am I doing here? Business accounting and business management. Never finished. I had an ultimatum when I was in my last year of college. I started my business and I was making money, but at the time I was still learning, so I wasn't charging what I charge now based on my knowledge and education. And it was one day I was taking classes. I was real studious. You know, it's like, okay, I'm gonna get my degree. I'm gonna go home, do my online work. I hate online work.
Okay, yeah.
I was working, but I will come home after work and I was studious. You know, we'll have discussions and, you know, sometimes I'll respond and sometimes I'm just like, oh, I don't really care about this, but this was interesting.
Like, great
you know,
response.
great response. This was good. I like that point. I agree.
No, for
like,
real.
Then I was doing that and I'm just like, I hate this. So I went to, it was one time that I was going to school and they told me that my financial aid had lapsed or it was something. However, I had the money to pay for it. I had the money to pay for it in my account. But I worked so hard for that money because it was just like, it was pennies on a dollar. And I was just like, I have, you know, it was a couple $1,000s and I was just like, I looked at my account, looked at school, looked at my account. I said, nah, I'm going to take a chance on myself. I dropped out. I stopped going to class. And it hurt because I was putting in so much work and I was actually applying myself. But I just didn't, I couldn't, I was just like, man, I'm gonna just take a chance on myself because this is not something that I really want to do. I'll just really be getting this just to say I have it.
Yeah.
I have a few friends, not a lot, but I have a few friends that they have their degree. They're not really doing nothing, you know? So I'd rather take a chance on doing something that I love and depend on God and for my clients. And I'm glad I did it. I wouldn't change anything. I would have had a degree, but that's it. You know, could have had both, but at that time I was just like, nah, I'm not about to give y'all my money and then still owe. And nah, I'm good. So I took a chance on myself, and I believe that that's what God wanted me to do, and I'm glad that I did.
Yeah.
I met some of my celebrity idols, and yeah, I would never. You can never take those moments away from me. I won't. Those are the best feelings in my life. That's the best feeling in my life. So I'm glad I took a chance on myself.
Oh, nice. And you were how? What year were you? I guess when you like.
So I left, came back. So I was like 20 something.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had left. Then I was just like, yo, let me go back and finish. But at that time, I was like, I'm over it.
Dang. It's what went through your head just knowing like, is there a possibility I might just drop out of this and just?
No, it wasn't. I just made the decision right then and there.
Oh, dang.
I looked at my account. I looked at the balance that, you know, they wanted me to pay. I said, nah.
Yeah, no hesitation at all? Dang. You're better than most. I'd be like, okay, pros and cons list.
Yeah, it's pros and cons to everything. It's just, you just have to live it.
Yeah.
you have to live with that decision. And so I'm living with that decision. I'm meeting my celebrity clients, being recognized. I'm being on the news, doing a podcast. So
Yeah.
I'm straight. I could be in the office, you know. I could have a family. I could, you know, making I could be making 7 figures, you know.
Oh, snap. Okay.
And I, you know, in the office, that's cool. But I chose this life. I have more freedom. I am my own boss. Well, this is God's business. I'm just a manager. However, I could do whatever I want. If I want to close for a week, I can. There's consequences to that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I have more freedom.
That's so funny. I think that like a lot of people say like they're like they knew all their whole life that they wanted to be like an entrepreneur or start their own business, but that you didn't really know until what, like college?
I really didn't know what I wanted
Yeah.
to do. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't always want to grow up and be a doctor. I didn't want to be a dentist, basketball player. I wasn't nice enough. I could play, but I wasn't going to be a basketball player. I wanted to do this. I wanted to be a wrestler.
Oh, really?
I want to be a wrestler. That's crazy.
Dang, how long?
In high school,
Yeah.
I said I want to be a wrestler. And I looked, before we moved to Alabama, I was like, it's the least I can do. You know, let me see if they have wrestling schools out here. But they didn't. It was in Florida. So I let that go. But that was something that I thought about. I was like, I could possibly join, you know, wrestling. But I like lifting weights. I like, you know, the activity, the entertainment, acting. But that wasn't God's plan for my life. So
yeah, maybe he knew he's considering this a little too seriously. Let's go
I
down
was
there.
like, nah, I can't. Yeah, I'm not gonna be no wrestler. But that's a fun fact. I wanted to be a wrestler growing up. That's what I wanted. Yeah. In high school.
In high school, yeah. I guess if you could look back, whether it's your high school self or just like young self when you were in New York and everything, would you give yourself any advice? Think about like where you were mentally or emotionally then?
Stop caring about what people think.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Because it don't matter. You know, it really doesn't matter. Everybody's gonna always have an opinion. Whether you go left or right, you can never please everybody. So do you focus, and you'll reap the benefits when the time comes. Sacrifice is another thing that I would have told myself. Sacrifice now. And temperance, I would tell myself, practice temperance, which largely comes and starts at the table, at the food, before you eat with food. Temperance. Some people might be confused. They're like, temperance, what you mean? You're not fat,
Yeah.
you're in shape. Nah, but discipline with the plate equals discipline with life. I have a sweet tooth. I don't have diabetes or anything. I just have a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
But I just notice how my behavior is when it comes to food is how my life will play out, how my thought process will play out, how I perceive things. It will show if I'm disciplined in different areas, because food is something that is the most selfish thing that we can partake of. So if we could discipline ourselves when it comes to food, we could discipline ourselves when it comes to different aspects of life. For me, I watch a lot of bodybuilding stuff because I'm fascinated with the fact that you were able to eat something that is so bland, boring, over and over again to achieve a look that you want. That's worth it, you know, besides the steroids and all that negative stuff. But it's the principle behind it. And so when practicing that, I admire the Ronnie Colemans and the different bodybuilders because of that discipline. And we were going back to discipline.
Yeah.
Because they had so much discipline with the food and with the things that's the most selfish and the most easiest to take advantage of. They had discipline in that area, and it shows by how they look. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I admire that. So when I look at that, I try to take those principles and I go back to the food and I see like, okay, if I'm eating this, how is it going to affect the way that I think, or my clarity, or, you know, how I operate with people, with men, women, my business. Can I hear God's voice? Can I, you know, am I going to continuously, be lazy on certain aspects? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's something I would tell myself. Temperance in the little things, focus, don't care about what people think, and yeah, those are the two main things. I don't remember what I said before, but those are the two things. And one thing I admire, not to ramble,
You're good.
one thing I admire about Kanye, excuse me, I don't agree with everything that he says or does, but the fact that he doesn't care about what people think of him takes him very far. So I sometimes imagine and I say, if I didn't care what people thought about me, how much further would I have been in life, and just in general? And sometimes you gotta have that real conversation with yourself. And I notice, and I'm just like, okay. So now as I'm getting older, I'm realizing like, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. So I need to do what I actually am here for, and focus on that and achieve that. And yeah, we'll just go from there. That I'll reap the benefits, and I'll be grateful when I achieve the goals and the purpose that I was put here for.
Nice. So you've grown into that, not caring what people thought, like over time, or is it been
Yes, I'm still struggling with it.
Yeah.
That comes with practice. Practice makes permanent. So the more you remind yourself like, yo, it doesn't matter what people think, the better you're off in life. The happier you are, because you're not doing things for people's approval. You're doing it because you want to do it, and it's your purpose. So that's what I still struggle with it. But I'm better than I was before. The name of the game is endurance. I'm not going to win tomorrow or probably next week, but if I continue practicing it, I'll be good. Consistency is a secret sauce. Always with anything. Anytime somebody asks me, or if I'm trying to figure out how to acquire something, or how to be good at something, or how to reach my goal, you have to be consistent. Motivation don't last. Motivation it comes and goes, but it don't last. Consistency is it's a secret sauce, and I realize that, and I'm just like, yo, even if I don't reap the benefits right now, it's gonna come. It has to. It's the law. It has to. So
I guess what struggles have you gone through in your whether it's with yourself or your business that you feel like you overcome because of that endurance?
being broke,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's ups and downs to a business, but if you're consistent, you'll be good. And just adding things and auditing yourself, I realized that, especially early on, I was just riding off the coattails of Instagram, you know, but my Instagram had gotten shut down one time for some
Really?
apparent reason. And that's where all my money comes from. So it's just like, yo, I luckily have another page, but I believe that happens just to humble me, and to also show me how reliant I was on another man's platform. That's not mine. So with that, I had to get a reality check. I got it back, but now I move differently. So I'm building more contacts and relationships with people that I can see in my community.
Yeah.
That's secondary to me now. It's not paramount anymore. So that's something that I realized. I was like, yo, I gotta pivot, and not solely rely on the internet, because the internet could shut down tomorrow. I need to add more value to myself by doing my own alterations. You know, I need to have exit interviews. I need to intentionally ask for referrals. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Principles that I learned at T-Mobile, I need to implement them in my business. And so that's what I started doing, and started being consistent with that, and I'm reaping the benefits. And I'm just like, yo, I could do this. But yeah, I've been broke before. I've started from zero and had to start over. But when you hit I've been there before, so there's only one option to head when you're at the bottom. You gotta come up. You gotta start with one. So if I could sell you $1, something that's worth $1, that's $1 that I had before. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at things. So I'm not afraid to lose everything because I could get it back. Because I know how to hustle. I know how to get it back. You know what I'm saying? So lesson learned is, you know, add more value to your business. And if things fail, start over. I'm not afraid to start over. So that's one thing that's, you know, has kept me resilient. Money management, that's another thing that people don't teach you.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that needs to be a class in school, how to manage money when you have more money than you've had before. I don't look at MC Hammer the same. I see, you know, principles. Now, I haven't been like that. I ain't lose that much. But, you know, but I've it's the principles, you know, if you lose $10, it's still like, yo, you know, you still feel it, you know?
Yeah.
But his level is different. We're not on the same level, but I've had such situations where I had to rebuild, and I'm glad for those situations because now I look at things differently. I'm just like, I don't need to purchase this. I need to keep this here. I need to, you know, invest in this. I need to, you know, I don't need to spend this just yet until the customer gives me the okay. And, you know, just different, you know, contracts and different things of that nature, just to protect myself, that I didn't learn prior because I just went into it. I didn't prepare. So, but it's a learning lesson. So now I'm just like, okay, now I'm fortifying my business even more. And, you know, I could share that with somebody else and tell them like, hey, don't forget to have contracts for anything that you make for anybody. Be real specific, have them sign it, have evidence, use, you know, you could take cash, but make sure to notate that, you know, do certain things. And, you know, because people, you can't really trust people. They'll smile in your face, and this is human nature, but they're for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to protect yourself as well. You know, we can laugh, we can have fun, kiki, haha, but at the end of the day, when it comes to money, people move differently. And you have to respect that. You have to respect yourself. So I had to respect myself and protect myself. So those are some lessons that I learned while doing this.
Is that balance weird between money and people? And like,
What do you mean? Is the balance weird?
I guess that balance between like, yeah, we can be friendly, but like, I guess the personal relationship connection versus like the money connection. Like someone you're like friends with, you might not do business with them and all that, and then vice versa.
Business still has to be done. So it was awkward a little bit because it's like, you know, this is my friend, you know, but at the same time, it's still like, it still needs to be done. So I believe that's part of being a man. Hey, we could laugh, but now let's put this aside and let's handle business. This is what it costs. Just look somebody in the eye and embrace that awkwardness because there's no way around it. You know what I'm saying? So I just learned to look at their forehead, look at one eye, and just keep it moving. Because I'm figuring everything out as I go. So I'm just like, yo, how do I I feel so awkward charging this person, or we're friends, but but your friends will support you. Your real friends will support you, and that's another aspect about business. I wouldn't say you'll see who your real friends are, because some people can't afford certain things, or they're not interested. However, a lot of things will reveal itself. Who are your real friends? I will say that you're your true friends. And being that I have a business, I've seen those that truly support me really have my back. And I appreciate that. And so I hold them at a different value, now. And I view them differently. That doesn't mean that I treat those that hasn't support me differently. No, we still cool. But the people that they're more of a priority in my life, because they've supported my business, and this is my livelihood. Same thing when it comes to women. I have to realize that, some women will like you and stuff of that nature, but they won't ask you about the things that you care about. My business is my livelihood. You see what I'm saying? This is the thing that I care about. You're just wanting to, take. I want me to ask you about everything that you care about. But when it comes to my stuff, and I've had several women in my life that has supported my business, my business ministry, and that has boosted their importance in my life as well. So I view them different. Like women that I've talked to in the past, I view them differently. I hold them at different levels of not necessarily respect, but nearness to my heart.
Gotcha.
So that's just another thing. Having your own business will really reveal the people around you, and sometimes it hurts, but it needs to be done. And I'm all for it. That's why I wouldn't say that. Well, I'll say it. Who cares? That's why I admire Trump. I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't agree with what he says. I'm not on neither side. But if you have an enemy, I would rather my enemy tell me that they don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Rather than smiling in my face and telling me they're gonna support. They don't support. But if somebody's like, nah, I'm not interested in that, I respect it. You know what I'm saying? You go your way, I'll go mine. And that's that, So, like I said, I'm not a Trump supporter.
You
just admire Kanye and Trump's personality of not caring what people think. I appreciate that. I had somebody tell me yesterday that, they like my personality. They, I'll say certain things, even though people don't like it, I'll have evidence to back it up. And that's the individual's decision to, take it or leave it. It's up to you. But I'm going to speak the truth as I see it.
Yeah, as you should. I need to practice that because I'm a little too people pleaser.
Yeah, I used to be too, but now it's just like, as I've gotten older, I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care no more. I'm just like, yo, it is what it is. People, you can't be a people pleaser because you'll never be happy yourself.
That's true.
And one thing that I notice is when you tell the truth, whether it's good or bad, people have no choice but to respect you. So you're going to respect me either or.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what it is.
Okay. Well,
and it hurts. It's awkward.
Yeah, it can get real awkward.
I don't think it ever goes away, but
you just gotta
continue doing it. Consistency. You gotta be consistent at it. And so I'm learning to be consistent, even though it's awkward. Hey, how do I look? I don't really like it. It's awkward, but
it's like,
it has to be done. But now that person trusts me. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I'm scared to ask them how I look, but how do I look? I like this. Okay, good. You just keep it moving. I'm gonna be real.
That's true.
It helps, and it also helps me.
Yeah. I just add one more question, and then I think we should be good. But I want to ask, like, what? I guess it's go back to like the people pleasing, just saying what you want and everything. But just like, how do you like ask for what you want? As far as like, oh, what's that? What am I trying to ask? I guess, how do you go about asking what you want, or how do you work your way up to that? As far as like in business, when you like collaborate with others or someone who knows more than you, how do you like ask for what you need in a way without, because a lot of people can't do that.
So when I started working at T-Mobile, I had a manager. His name was Scott. He wasn't the best person to get along with. He was cool, but he wasn't really a people person. He's not really. But one thing that he did to me while I was working there was I just started and he just threw me to the wolves because he saw something in me. I didn't know how to formally ask people to purchase a cell phone or to persuade people. I had to figure it out. But one thing that I did was ask, because I don't know a cute way to do it. We didn't have Chat GPT back then to try to
Yeah, to formulate answers.
formulate the question and stuff. So I had to straight up ask. And as I'm asking, I would audit. Hey, I asked this type of way. Let me try it another way. Let me try it another way until I finally got the words computed properly and the timing right. And, I just had to figure it out and it started working. So my advice would be, if I want something from you, you want something from me, how can I help you? This is what I want. If it works, it works. If not, it is what it is. So I have to keep in the forefront of my mind that what's going to happen is going to happen. Do your best. Do the best that you can and keep it moving. Sometimes I'll go out and I'll network with different tailors, and sometimes I'll talk to different people, talking to them about my business, and sometimes I'll fumble. I don't know what to say because I'll get nervous. But now I've had that experience. I'll be embarrassed for like 2 seconds, but I'll just shake it off because they're not going to remember and it doesn't matter. But now when I go to the next person, I'll be like, okay, this is what I'm going to say. And I'm confident with it.
Yeah.
And it works. So you just got to ask. You cannot be afraid of failure. In order to succeed, you have to fail. Well, you don't have to if you listen to wisdom and people's experiences. But for people like me, that's kind of hard-headed, and learn from experience and the consequences, can't be afraid to fail and just ask, and you'll be successful in all aspects of life when it comes to women, men, God, networking. The most that they can, if somebody can't kill me, I'll be all right. So that's another mindset. That's basically what I'm trying to say. I'll just ask. My name is Rasheem of Dionicio's Closet, and you're watching the Apprentice podcast.